Hey, yeah, I'm pretty happy with how my Glass Cannon Slayer Ellie hit build turned out, and I'm going to show you how I configure its damage. Alright, let's see here. It has Frenzy, it has Endurance, oops. We have to give it Life Tap. That's what I imbued it with. And we have to turn on our Tincture. We have Life Tap, we have Onslaught, there's a node on Kill that we gain it from. Fortify, we have Max Rage, we're Leeching, we've killed recently. Enemy is Ignited, Scorch, Frozen, Shocked. On Ubers, it's like 30%, I think. And on regular mobs, it's about 50. And we use all Ellie. We're in Sand Stance. And it hits by cold. Enemy loses resistance when we hit them with a certain elemental damage. And so, as we alternate damage types, this should always be giving us more damage. Build is a Glass Cannon. As you can see here, it is very Glass Cannon. Steel Skin, remove that, right? No endurance charges if you start a boss fight. So we are really Glass Cannon. This is a 6 portal build. It is a 6 portal build. If you want more life, you can take away these 4 points. Put it into here. That's another 400 or 500 more life. About 600 more life there. You can make this build cheaper by not going bound by destiny and by not getting Bane of Legends. This is just so Reflect Immune. This is so Reflect Immune. I don't have to read the map mods. It's pretty good. You might see I have taken an Axe Mastery. This is so we don't have to deal with Porcupines. Porcupines? You know what I mean. And any other possible on-death effects. So that's why. And it also gives an Onslaught, which is not too bad. That's really it. We can Intimidate from Lethal Pride. We're also using 5% strength, and there's, I think, one that gives like 20 strength, which really helps us out. 20 strength. Because we need to reach 191 strength for Combs. This makes it really hard to replace this claw. You can't get a Mirror Claw with increased critical multi-strike, but then you need to lose like a point or two somewhere. I guess you could take away these points. Yeah, this is only like a 1.5. It's really not that good. And we'll still be res capped. So you can remove those 2 points and put it into strength and in here. And then, yeah, you could probably use a Mirror Claw. If you're bossing, you could get another amulet and anoint it with Force of Nature. I find this one a really great quality of life anoint, so I rarely swap out of it. And since this one is my Shaper piece, I need it to be Reflect Immune. You can also swap out Greater Ancestral Call for like increase crit damage, right? Unless you got the Mirror Claw, in which case you would use something else. You know, Restoration's not bad. This one's not bad, but you need a high amount of stats, which we do not have. Endurance charges is also not bad. I don't know how you would get endurance charges during bossing. I guess you would use a offhand swap with War Banner and Enduring Cry. But I'm lazy. I really don't want to like weapon swap for a boss fight and whatnot. Multi-strike. Be careful with that one because when you strike, it will be all the same Ellie. And if you have this node, that means if you do all fire, the first hit will do damage. The last 2 hits won't do damage. So it feels really weird, and sometimes you feel like you're not dealing damage. That's why. Shout out to Rule 2, one of the big streamers, big Path of Exile content creators. My build was based off his, and I farmed a Diamond Belt, and I just went Glass Cannon, and I found that was more fun. Glass Cannon, and I found Ancestral Call, Greater Ancestral Call, to be a really big game changer. Before then, it felt okay, but after you use Ancestral Call in your links, farming was so much better. It was so much better. Um, Attack mastery, I take one just if I want to go bossing. That's the reason why. If you're not boxing, you can always remove these points, but somewhere else as well. But then have greater ancestral call linked in, right? That's the whole point. This can be replaced if you have this for bossing, anyways. And again, force of nature for more damage if you want to anoint that. Um, but yeah, after that, it's just like the only investments is like 300 divines, and currently it's like 60 divines, maybe 80 divines for like immune to all map mods, right? So this is for strength. I got Bane of Legends to be physical reflect. We deal enough physical damage that we die, or maybe it's because I have all the map mods that increases the implicits or explicits or whatever. But yeah, physical reflect actually kills us with whirling blades. Um, and then I got Bound by Destiny. I got 4 Shaper items. The weapon is Shaper. The helmet is Shaper. And I think I got Ring and Amulet. Right? Those cost me like 8 divines. 8 divines for this. 8 divines for the ring. And it was like under divine, and this was already Shapered. So that's a nice way to be LA Reflect. But if you're just purely bossing and you don't care about reflecting, yeah, you can just not use this. You don't have to use this. You don't have to use this. It's cheaper, and you probably gain just as much damage, if not more damage, for the price point. I went with 3 crit multis and 1 attack speed. That's like 1 divine. Going 4 is like 10 plus divines, and I'm good, right? That's probably something you could go for more DPS, but 100 million feels pretty good, and even bossing with 150 million is like perfectly fine. Um, but yeah, after that, all the investments are like 300 divines, or like hundreds and hundreds of divines. LE hit, like you can get like a +5 in power. You can get the Squire Shield with +1 gems. That's like 300 divines. You can get the Mirror Claw. That's like another 300 plus divines. Actually, I don't know how much a mirror costs, but it's like a mirror and then the price to mirror it, right? So that's even more expensive. You can like get more life on your Comb's Heart. You can get more crit multi using the new Vol currency, Violent. I think Violent Vol currency or whatever the hell it's called. You can get +4 on your gloves, but this is really expensive gamble. And buying it outright is also really expensive. So that's up to you if you want to do that. The amulet is interesting. You could technically regular corrupt it to get like +1 curse, but then we're kind of like socket starved. I mean, you could remove like blood and sand, I guess. Or you can corrupt your gloves with like LE weakness on hit, but then that's also really expensive because the glove itself is like 15 divines. So yeah, and it's more work. You could just like turn it to +4 and then corrupt this for more crit multi instead of worrying about getting like +1 curse. So yeah. Also, I mean, you lose 30 int as well, and I think we use 100 int our gems somewhere. Yeah, so I don't know. We might be okay, but that's something you have to work around. Again, you could always remove these 2 points, maybe these 3 points, 4 points, whatever. What is this? This is like 2.1. So this is not even that good of a node, right? But more life, right? More life, and yeah. So this could be definitely removed, and you could put it into here for more life, and put it somewhere for more damage if you want to. So that's something you could definitely do as well. So yeah. Yeah, I think I explained everything. Axe node, this is +1. Oh yeah, I got 100% avoid being stunned, because stun would kill us because we're not attacking. 10% life is instant is really nice. Yeah, I think I explained everything. But yeah, this is my build. I'm pretty happy with it. It got me 40 challenges, pretty fast. Not the fastest, but pretty fast. Not tanky. Like I said, glass cannon. And it's fun. All right, goodbye.